Oh, music, I gotta turn that off. There we go.
Just hear music and not us.
Yeah.
Hey, watch live. I guess we're live now. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know. One waiting. Yeah, that's me waiting. There's two people who've liked it. Have you liked it? Is that what that is?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's
Um,
not a good sight. I just watched Apprentice crash.
ouch.
Which brings us on to our topic for tonight,
Hello.
which is trainers.
Trainers.
Yes. So on HorizonHobby.com, if you're looking into getting into aviation, I suggest using HorizonHobby.com, which you can go to a tab on there, which is the trainer tab. It has a bunch of cool airplanes to choose from, whether it's a 500 millimeter Delta Ray 1 to a Carbon Cub or a Princess. Um,
Yeah. Um, you're leading the stream tonight. I'm not.
I'm okay. I'm leading tonight, so this is going to be very boring. The I'm going to start off with Jordan's least favorite airplane, which is the Carbon Cub,
It's not my
which is
least favorite. It's just not fun.
my well, I have a lot of fun with this
I
aircraft.
know.
I have it pulled up now. It's a 1.3 meter. I almost said glider. It's a 1.3 meter powered aircraft.
Powered glider.
Powered aircraft. It is one of the best. Well, it is the best selling trainer on Horizon Hobby, I believe.
One of the best.
No, it is the best. It's on the
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
number one on the list. Um,
Uh,
I personally, well, my club I have at school just recently bought 3 of these. They're coming. So
can't believe you got 3 of them. What a
I
waste.
no.
I'm
I
joking.
I think the Carbon Cub is the best trainer. I know my flying abilities have gotten way better with the Carbon Cub. And I've had a lot more fun with the Carbon Cub than most airplanes. Though the Beaver, which I don't know where I
Ooh,
put it.
I should go get my beaver.
Yes, you should.
Okay, I have photo
Um,
of Carbon Cub under you and Apprentice under me.
alright. So I'm assuming that means that you love the Carbon or the Apprentice more than the Carbon Cub.
Well, no, the Carbon Cub's fun, but they're both trainer aircraft. There's not much you can do. I mean, well,
Yeah.
actually, the Apprentice is kind of strictly a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
The Carbon Cub can actually do some stuff.
Yes, the Carbon Cub. Um, I spent my summer with a Carbon Cub, going in and out of small, tight backcountry areas, and it does its job well. Those tires really work. Uh,
And then what happened to it? You gave it to your friend?
no, I I took the receiver and transmitter and ESC out of it and put it in a Dynam Waco that I got from a friend.
Oh dear, not the Waco. Waka.
Yeah, Waco.
Waco.
And I flew the Waco for a tiny bit. It was don't get a Dynam Waco unless you know what you're doing. It's like trying to wrestle a bear. That's the best I could compare to it.
I've never
Well, I
seen one
was
actually fly straight and level. It only does aerobatics.
well, no, it wasn't even that. It was if I got to the wrong
Pitch?
attitude, yeah, pitch attitude, it would just either roll upside down and start a steep descent like it was a spin,
Mm-hmm.
or it would just do something just god awful. Um, which sucks because I actually enjoyed that airplane. It is now in pieces.
What about the
My
Carbon Cub?
friend sawed it in half. What?
Where's the Carbon Cub?
The Carbon Cub is at my school awaiting everything.
Ah.
My friend, I gave it to my friend. Well, actually, he's buying that from me. Yeah, he's buying that from me. So,
And you're getting a
my
Carbon
new
Cub.
Carbon Cub is on the way. It should be here Tuesday, I believe.
It'll come Monday,
Um,
maybe.
oh, I hope it comes Monday. If it comes Monday, I'm going to be ecstatic. Though I'm not opening the box till Wednesday.
No, you have to.
The only reason why is because my friend is going to help me put it together, paint it, and do all sorts of fun things to it.
Okay. It comes with an extra receiver, by the way.
Yay! I know which airplane I'm putting that in.
It's a
Do
6
I?
channel.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So Tuesday at the end of the day. So hopefully Tuesday night, if we stream, I'll have a big F4 box next to me.
F5.
F5, F4, F5,
It
all
says
of them.
F5N on it. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very interesting when it comes to airplanes like this. The Carbon Cub really, if you're gonna get it, I saw this video recently of it where somebody said it's not a trainer airplane. It's the hardest thing in the world to fly. He had set up flaperons on it, and he I'm never gonna forget this. He had it on experienced mode, so on the transmitter, I don't have one nearby that has that, but
Yeah,
you
I've
can
got it.
actually flip a switch
This switch
where
normally.
yeah. Well, he's got an apprentice in the background. I don't, but
Yeah, I have my apprentice
yeah,
right
there's a switch that you can click for the
Yeah, if you're on Spectrum, it's either. Well, since he had flaps, it's like right here, I think.
Yeah, he is not that smart of a person. Definitely not a smart person. But he was saying how hard it was to fly. He had it on the hardest
Setting.
way.
Like, it has no
The
gyro
hardest
or anything.
setting.
It's
No
just
gyro.
like.
Yeah.
You've got full control of the plane, but nothing's going to recover it if you crash. So for a new person
Yeah.
to the hobby, well, duh. I mean, you're not. You have flaperons. It's a full wing flap. What do you?
Yeah, and he's using a DX6i as his first transmitter, so I can already tell that this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Don't believe everything you say or you see on the internet unless it's from us.
Unless there's exceptions to this rule.
Yeah. Well, all of the comments are saying not so nice things to the person. Apparently,
And we're doing
so
the
video I
same.
watched. Yes, exactly. This person is an idiot. I'm sorry to say. I'm not going to say the channel name, RC with Adam, but
we can still say they're an idiot.
Yes, exactly. Well, apparently he crashed it. He tried to take off out of a parking lot and crashed into a pole the first time he flew it with no gyros, no nothing. Then he proceeded to fix it with Scotch tape and a little bit of what's that? Doctor's tape sort of stuff.
Blenderm.
I guess, I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
It's like hinge tape.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's called Blenderm.
And there's a lot of people. Well, anyway, he well, in the video, he decides that. Well, you can clearly tell he doesn't know how to fly because immediately after takeoff, he goes vertical, and I do that, but I'm controlled. I'm not doing this through the vertical, snaking up.
And it's a Carbon Cub. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with enough of anything, you can get a Carbon Cub vertical. Trust me, I've done it more than once. I enjoy flying the Carbon Cub because of how nimble it is. I have videos doing a whole bunch of stuff with the Carbon Cub. Not on YouTube yet.
Hey, I'll post your video of you with your what was it? What with the rockets attached to it?
Oh yes, I posted that to my Instagram. It was a Tundra, a Durafly Tundra. We strapped rockets to it after hot gluing all the control surfaces stopped, and taking all the electronics out, except for he left a LiPo battery in it just to see if it would explode. And, well, it took off and then caught fire and burned to the ground. Except for I saved the wings, landing gear, tail. So the main fuselage was destroyed.
Why? Why would you do that?
Well, anyway, this person really messed up the weight and balance of the aircraft by adding so much tape that some of the airplane was not visible. And, well, a lot of these comments are saying very rude things, but his crash, what he did was he actually stalled and he dropped a wing. It started to spin, which...
That thing spins very easily, though. I know that.
I've never
not spin,
had...
sorry, tip stall.
Yes, it does tip stall.
Before it upgraded it to this motor, it all it did was tip stall. And once it gets some good power going, then it's fun.
Well, the thing I've always noticed, I've always flown stock Carbon Cubs or maybe a little modification here or there just to landing gear or, you know, no major modifications. My next one's going to be amazing. But what I always noticed was it will tip stall, but it recovers almost instantly because of that high lift wing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm using this battery here, a 1300 3-cell. But I think he doesn't show the battery he uses. The aircraft immediately looked tail heavy to me, so I don't know if that was from the tape or if he's using like a 1-cell,
not a 1
whatever.
If he goes vertical on takeoff.
Well, he didn't last in the air very long either.
But
Maybe
he's using like a 3-cell 400 or something stupid like that.
Yeah. Anyway, I've never seen a Carbon Cub break into a spin before like that. And, you know, it's a shame. It really is, because I hate seeing my favorite airplanes get destroyed. So all of you with Fly Zone Beaver, stop breaking them, please. I'm saying way too many. Yes, he's got a new Turbo Beaver.
Yes.
My Turbo Beaver still remains with no wings. One day.
You can take the wings off the Apprentice and put it on there.
That's a bad idea.
Why is it a bad idea?
I love it.
So tomorrow I have a flight lesson. That's why I have this in the room. Someone from London is staying here for a while and they want to learn how to fly.
Oh yes, another thing. If you've had the Park Zone Sport Cub, whatever it was, the 1.3 meter Sport Cub, and you're looking at the Carbon Cub, it's the same airplane. Literally the exact same airframe. The electronics are updated in the Carbon Cub. It's a little heavier. It's actually more nimble than the Sport Cub is. So, are you having fun spinning your propeller over there?
Yes, I am.
We just went back to the stream to see you just popping the propeller. Well, the Carbon Cub, I just think that if anything, it's a beautiful trainer. It does what it needs, and it's actually taken over the Apprentice market. Because
by you guys, it has.
Yes, because see, my club has an Apprentice that we've modified slightly, just because the Apprentice doesn't do well in our environment. I've noticed, just because we don't have perfect runways like every other person does.
Hey, we don't have a perfect runway.
Well, I mean, like,
field.
It's better than ours. We've got people. We've got
people. We're flying in a park.
Yeah. Well, we're flying in a soccer field, a school soccer field that is rarely maintained.
Even better.
Well, it's not the best because we have trees everywhere, and on takeoff, if say your engine fails at, I want to say about 12 feet, and Well, if the student freezes up on the controls, you're going into a few buses. So the bus barn, like all the buses are right in front of the end of the runway. Anyway, the Carbon Cub just is the best for our use. Now, if you're looking for something and you've got pavement runway or concrete runway, even a dirt runway would suffice with the Apprentice.
Yeah, the Apprentice can really. The Apprentice is it's a nice trainer. It's great for people learning how to fly. Just make sure you have a flight instructor. That's all I can say. And if you can't get a flight instructor or you literally have no flying fields around you, try simulators. That's
Exactly. Get a flight simulator. Work your way up on the sims.
once you can fly
Well,
once you can fly consecutive flights on a sim, move over to RC to
and the worst thing you can do in a sim is continuously try to do stupid things.
yeah,
Like trying to take off and do a
immediate
whatever
knife edge.
aerobatic. Yeah, exactly. That the main thing is, and I'll bring this up in a moment, of first test flights of an airplane, your new airplane, but the Carbon Cub especially, you don't want to, on the sim at least, just immediately start doing weird stuff. Because if you get in that habit of getting into a bad maneuver and crashing, and then every once in a while you can take off and land, and you go out and fly the real thing, you're going to crash.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not you might crash, you really will. The best thing you can do is fly in a go to on a flight sim. They have a choice of what flying field you can choose, and
exactly, and
all you
you
need to do is
know,
just fly in a rectangle or a circle or something. Once you can
yeah, and
take off and land nicely, or take off, climb up to 2 or 3 mistakes high, circle around really nicely without the plane dipping down like that or anything, and then come back for a landing. Once you can do that, then you can you know get a proper RC airplane.
yeah, and also the thing about three mistakes high is some people think, and I actually had a student at our school who's been flying with us forever, who hasn't really done much flying themselves, but they just kind of watch. Um, I told them, okay, here's the controls, and of course I'm holding it with them. I've got my own way of teaching that has worked. But basically, what they did was they just started to climb to about 10 feet off the ground and leveled it off. Because they always thought that three mistakes high is 3 seconds high. That's not how it works. You want to be
In case you have
100,
to
200
recover, yeah.
feet. Yeah, because things happen quickly when things go wrong.
And planes start moving fast when they lose altitude.
Yes,
Typically,
they
they
and the
accelerate.
Carbon Cub is a slippery airplane. It will
is.
speed up super
At high
quick.
speed, it gets very unstable as well. Not unstable, very touchy.
Yes, exactly. Just like any airplane, you know. The Apprentice is the same way, if not worse, when it comes to
The Apprentice
being
will
slippery.
lock up at high speeds, I believe.
Yeah. Well, also the fact is the Apprentice is weak.
Yeah, the tail is kind of flimsy. Like just right here, right now, I can take this and move it up and down very easily.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does fly, and it's not a pylon racer.
Yeah, it's not a pylon racer. It's not meant to go in the back country like I had to do.
Yeah,
I like to do.
You gotta remember
Even
this.
though I
Also,
might try and
it
make
depends on
stuff.
it depends on where you're flying, not just what you're
Exactly.
flying.
Because you don't want to be flying that beautiful new P-51 we were talking about, I think last week.
Yeah, the new E-flite 1.5 meter Mustang.
Yeah, you don't want to be flying that in a cornfield with rough terrain all around. You're going to rip the gear off. You're going to cartwheel it. Who knows what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even trust myself flying something like that in any of the fields I fly. Maybe the school field, because that
but not even.
is flat. But, like, and that's not the right airplane for me. I don't like going and having a expensive Warbird because I've
Because you
had an
can get the
expensive
same
Warbird.
you can get the same fun out of the Carbon Cup.
Exactly. And even though some people
I love
like
my
everyone's
I love
different.
my Warbirds, but I can still have fun with this.
Yeah. And there's a lot you can do with any airplane. And what I try to teach is sure you might not like it that you're still flying a trainer, but you know, all airplanes are trainers
Yeah.
in one way. Every airplane you have, whether it's that 1.5 meter P-51 to the Carbon Cub or the Apprentice,
Timber or an air tractor.
whatever you fly, everything's going to teach you something new.
Even a Corsair. Corsair teaches you to steer right.
Yeah,
with the tail
Corsairs. I don't get a Corsair.
Don't get a Corsair.
My
your
Park
parts
Zone
are coming
Corsair taught me that you should not get a Corsair.
Also,
But
you're getting parts for your Parks on Corsair.
have I shown you how bad that is?
No.
It's not. It's never gonna fly again.
Would you like to show me how bad it is?
Not on stream. I'll show you later.
Aww.
But the whole nose is gone. Half the canopy is gone.
Oh, nice.
It smashed into the pavement doing about 20 mile an hour.
And what Corsair was this?
Park Zone Corsair. This was one of my first bigger airplanes too, so that's another thing. You don't want a Warbird for your third airplane, you know? It wasn't my third, but... And also you don't want to...
I probably shouldn't be speaking, but my first plane was a P-51 Mustang from E-flite, and I learned to fly on that.
Well, did you have an instructor?
Yeah, we buddy boxed on it, and in about, I don't know, a month of flying it, I was flying it on my own. Like, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a Warbird for your first airplane.
It really just depends on the person and their experience. If you're a real pilot, you kind of know how these things work. So it takes less effort for you to grasp on to the
up
idea.
Up is down, down is up.
Yeah.
And another thing is if you're somebody watching and you are a school student who has an RC plane or two, even if it's a F5F Tiger Cat or whatever you have.
Yeah, the E-flite F5F is actually a very good plane. I've seen plenty of reviews on it, and it flies forever, and it's super quiet. I've seen plenty fly as well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on that is talk to an administrator or a principal at your school and kind of show them what it is. If they're nice enough, and also don't be like one of those bad kids who do drugs and everything and expect them to be nice to you either. But,
yeah.
Well, it's true.
I know.
But,
you know, try to get your community involved.
Yeah, just try and, even if it's like, if you have, after school groups or something, and you want to just and you've got a few friends who's got interest in aviation, or you know, you never know. I met somebody today, a friend I've had for a long time, who just told me they were into aviation. It shocked me, but it's really a cool thing, and we got to share this because, you know,
it's not going to be around forever.
No, it isn't. It's not. And we got to push to keep it as long as we can.
Like right now, my flying field, the city's trying to shut it down, which is
exactly
sucks, and we're gonna get shut down. Long story short, in June, we only have till June just to fly at our field, and we can't do anything about it because, well, the city's just lying.
Yeah, and that's why I said get together with your school. Because if you get some STEM teachers or science teachers or even your principal going on it,
it opens many doors.
It opens so many doors, and
career paths.
I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
But I started my club last year in 8th grade, and my school is mixed with the high school, so my principal wasn't the same this year as last year, but he's still in the building with me, so I can go over talk to him about the club and then go back to class or whatever. But he I showed him what airplane did I have. I had the Fly Zone Beaver. Back then, I still do, but
Had. And it was
yeah,
intact. Let's just say that.
it was intact. It was good, and it was unmodified. It was
Stop.
regular
Bone stock.
select scale bone stock. Well, relatively bone stock. I think there was a couple of things that the person who had it before me changed. But I took him out flying one day. We have these blocks in our school called ELOs, Extended Learning Opportunities. And it's a half an hour block, or 2 half-an-hour blocks, so it's an hour-long thing. It's in between
Block, if you're unfamiliar,
classes.
is just period.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about here. But I took him and the person who owned it before me, who goes to the same school as I, and we went out and flew it. And he was so amazed by just the fact that an eighth grader, a 14-year-old eighth grader, could fly an airplane that's not a real one, but it's an airplane. You know, it's actually in the air. It's not like a paper airplane.
Still applies
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's still an airplane.
Exactly, and we started having club meetings during those ELO blocks. And we'd only meet for half an hour. Sometimes we'd go outside and fly, sometimes we wouldn't. And when I got the Carbon Cub in around May of last year, and this all happened within like a year. Like August, well, it was late November or so that I took my principal out flying. Through that winter, we started a club. That it was an unofficial club, but it was just we'd meet here and there, and we bought some micros and flew them in the gym. All of them are now passed away, so rest in peace. But well, you've got a bunch of school children, little tiny micros.
Yeah.
But the aircraft now, like I said previously, we've bought 3 Carbon Cubs. That's $900. And don't go complain about your tax dollars going into that, because we earn that money through doing a couple dances for the school.
Yeah.
And such like that.
Go away, filthy taxpayer.
Yes, exactly. But it wasn't $900 out of your guys' pockets. It was out of it was out of children's pockets with force. But the the best part though is I've taught about 7 students, one of which has their own plane now and is building a bunch of foam airplanes, and amazes me every time I see him fly, because every time he's either not crashing or crashing, so I don't know. But
so.
Yeah, but the moral of the thing is it started out with me just showing the plane off. I brought it in one day, and that airplane became the school's mascot airplane. The Beaver did. And so I painted it in the school colors of gold and black. It was already orange and black, so we swapped it over. And the Carbon Cubs kind of matched that description. But the Carbon Cub, I brought mine in May and flew it. I couldn't figure out how to get out of taxi mode. That's the one thing I didn't like. Was it took me about 3 days to figure out how to get out of taxi mode and fly it.
Was that when the motor would just pulse?
Yeah, it's when the motor pulses and it just kind of sits there like.
It just goes boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
I still don't know how to get out of that.
You gotta press the bind button and hold it with the throttle cut off, like so you can't move the throttle, and then it'll wiggle all the control surfaces around, and then you just undo the throttle cut off.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did when I got that. Rip the GPS out. I don't care what they say it can do. I'm not buying it, and I don't want it. I have seen 3 literally fly away.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is if you're in a rural place like where I am in Vermont, you'll be able to fly a airplane just fine. If you're in the middle of New York City and you want to go fly in the park in New York City,
Don't.
one, have your ID at the ready,
And
and two,
AMA.
make sure that you don't have any weapons. Three, get an AMA, and
I think
four, just don't do it.
just don't do it. I think AMA should be the first on that list.
Yeah, exactly. And well, you're in AMA, whatever. So
If there's an
um,
AMA section field, go fly there.
exactly. Look up the AMA, Academy of Model Aeronautics.
.org,
So,
I think.
yes. And look, you get a cool sticker.
Yeah, look
But,
at the sticker I got. Hang on. Sticker.
And the best thing you can do is get a flying group together and schedule a time every week or every 2 weeks or whenever.
Every day.
Every day.
Like my friend Jaren, he works at Aloft Hobbies. I'm sponsored by them, by the way. Sorry, I had to. He every Sunday they go meet at the field and they go fly. All his coworkers him, which is great.
Yeah. So the reason why they're closed on Sundays is not because of church or anything like that. It's because they're out having fun.
Yeah,
And let them do that.
At the end, they still are an airplane company selling airplanes.
Yeah, and every Wednesday I go out and I go flying with my flying buddies at the school, and I have some of the most fun every Wednesday or like every day, except for Wednesday. I can't wait. Even Wednesdays, I can't wait till I go flying because this is probably the best addiction you could get.
Mic on.
Today we actually classified it as a disease instead of an addiction.
A disease?
Off. Yeah.
Mic on.
Well, yeah, that makes more sense.
Mic off.
But basically, the moral of this is if you're in the hobby and you're just a lone guy or girl that just has your own airplane and you really don't share it with many people, get yourself out there and share it because as somebody online on Flight Test, Josh Bixler says, it's more fun to fly with friends. And it really is, because you have more fun doing that than going out alone and crashing by yourself. Why not?
Why not crash
instead
with
of
your
crying? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
instead of crying
about your plane smashing into the ground or the tree, and then having to drag it home all depressed, why don't you crash it with a friend and laugh about it?
Yeah, like my friend, who I'm going to see tomorrow, he didn't really have an interest in flying, or he was like, that's cool. I don't know. I'll just stay home. And I got him out to the field one day. Now he's got 2 planes, and tomorrow we're gonna go meet up, and he's got an F-16. I'm still teaching him how to fly, and he started on a P-47. Like I've been teaching him how to fly on a P-47. Because one of the club members gave it to him. He's like, well, it's only a bunch of us old farts out here. We'd like to see some new kids come out to the field. Like, besides you, Jordan, there's only one other kid that flies out here, and he doesn't fly that often. And so
exactly, and that's another thing is a lot of people tell me, oh, well, this is an old people's stuff. Why are you flying? I fly. My main place that I fly during the summer is right next to an intersection that's got a store that's well known around here, the East Warren store.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a field right next door and a little kind of entranceway to the field that's made out of rough dirt and such. And you can land in that space in a Carbon Cub with no tailwind.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have people stop by and be like, hey, that's a nice plane. Even better, I actually have a story. One of my dad's friends was driving their car down the road. They actually pulled out from that store started going down the road, and I was lined up for takeoff. So what I did was I took off and flew formation with his car, and this is like some hopped up Subaru. I actually went faster than the Subaru with the Carbon Cub and beat him to the tree line, which I then pulled up, came back to myself, and did some aerobatics, which, you know, if you're going to show off, be smart about it.
If you're gonna show off, you better show off well.
Yeah, if you're going to show off well. But that is kind of true.
No crashing allowed.
Yeah, don't crash.
That
And
should
if
be
you do crash, have fun doing it. You
Yeah,
know,
don't go up and crash a plane on purpose. Oh, it landed, it doesn't land nicely. I'm gonna crash it. Well, it still flies nicely.
Yeah, and like
Give it to someone else.
Jordan here, he didn't really like his Carbon Cup because it wasn't fun to him. He's more fast. I'm slow. He sent me his Carbon Cup.
Vapor.
Yeah, he's working on a Vapor. Well, I call him the fast guy. But he sent me his Carbon Cub recently. It's on the way, and he's, instead of him going out and just smashing it up and taking the electronics out of it, he's sending it to another person so they can have fun.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. Just like me with my Waco, I didn't like it because it flew like crap, so I gave it to my friend who I knew would crash it, but, you know,
and then
I
he
knew he'd
sawed
have
it
a fun
in
time.
half.
Yeah, and then he sawed it in half, and it ended up back with me somehow.
But you're still having fun with it.
Exactly, and that's the best thing you can do. We kind of went off topic, but
I don't know.
Yeah, this is all improv at this point. We have no idea. I just brought up, why don't we just talk about trainers?
Well, first of all, you were like, why don't we do a podcast?
Yeah.
As I was getting in the car from the flying field today.
Yeah, like,
hey, Jordan,
what?
Let's do a podcast.
2 hours ago? Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, really how this can go. The Beaver was my first big airplane. I flew Champs, little UMX Champs, for a long time, and I had pride with that airplane. It was such a fun airplane to fly. And it still is. Nobody can change my mind. The Champ is a fun airplane to fly.
No, it's not.
It can be if
what can you do with it?
Crash it. But
if you crash
well, you can do loops. You can. I got
gosh.
mine to actually do a lot of aerobatics. I painted mine in a aerobatic scheme and just did aerobatics with it. I actually got the tail of it over on my wall. But there's a where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so the Beaver was my first big airplane, and don't do this, but I test flew it for the first flight. I flew it at night because it has nav lights and beacon and strobe. I test flew it for the first time at 8 p.m. on October 30th, 2018, and then late November, all that started with the club. But the Carbon Cub I actually test flew in taxi mode. I got it off the ground in taxi mode and flew it around. But I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Mic on. Mic off.
Oh. Can hear you again.
Mic
Sorry.
on.
Person called.
Oh, okay.
I was like, William can't talk.
Yeah. Jordan, do you have that photo of the Beaver that I sent you?
When?
I sent it to you a little bit back in Discord.
Oh, yeah?
Why don't you pull that up on the screen and replace the Carbon Cub with it?
I will next stream. I have to download it and then put it on there.
Oh, okay.
You can 3D print Park Zone Super Cub parts.
Really?
You can print the wing bracket, the Park Zone motor mount, Corsair motor mount, Sport Cub cowl.
So the Sport Cub again is the exact same.
Yeah. Sport Cub wing bracket.
You don't 3D print it. Just buy a Carbon Cub piece.
Well, if you can't, because Park Zone is no more.
Well, the Carbon Cub and the Park Zone aircraft is the same thing. Yeah, on Discord I just pinned the thing, the beaver. But another thing you can do, and this is what I did with my beaver, is I got.
That's his beaver right there.
Where is? Oh yeah, that. Yeah, so that's the Angry Beaver, but the I got inspired by another airplane. It's a real life airplane, which was the Draco. It's a PZL 104 Wilga 2000 that was heavily modified. Sadly, crashed in September during the air races, but it was a beautiful short takeoff and landing airplane, just amazing. But the
sorry, I have that pulled up on stream. I have to send this to my friend like right now to 3D print.
Well, nobody's watching, so it's all right. The what is it? The Beaver. I decided after my friend crashed it because I tried to train him in a certain way that didn't work. I just handed him the transmitter while it was in the turn, and it just continued through the turn and went in.
Oh my god! You can print the landing gear doors.
Doors?
The doors, the fairings.
Oh, for the Cub?
Yeah.
Again, it's just the Carbon Cub.
I know, but like, what if you don't want to buy parts and you literally have the 3D print file right here, and you have a 3D printer?
Yeah, you could. I don't know. But anyway,
you have to pay like $10
Beaver
for shipping. Come on, man. Just 3D print it. Works the same.
The Beaver. After it was crashed, what I did with it was I took a bit of foam board and I extended the flaps by the length of the cord of the flap. So it was doubled the length of the flaps on the Beaver.
Yeah, and the Turbo Beaver does not have much flap movement.
No, send it to me and I'll
nope.
Angry Beaverify it. But the best part about it was I immediately started having great flights with it. It just would jump into the air and have a bunch of fun. But anyway, I put big tires on it and I modified it, and I ended up, after modifying it, it actually was fun because I'd spend hour or two making a part, put it on the airplane, go test flight. If it didn't work, rip it off, make a new one, or just not make another one. Buy parts to different airplanes and put them on, like the where are they? I've got slats around here that I put on my Beaver. I put them on wrong now that I look back on it, but I put slats on it and tested it. Didn't work, so I took them off at the flying field and kept flying.
Yeah.
Or at my airport, but
my airport.
Well,
I know.
Well, the reason why I say that is I'm there all the time when it's open. It's not open right now because winter months. But the best thing you can do if you have a little bit of aviation knowledge like I do, and you kind of know what you're doing, you can actually take how do I say this? You can take an airplane and modify it and make it your own airplane.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you bought it, you've got the receipt for it, it's your airplane, but it's not really your personalized airplane
It's not your
if you
design.
get it
It's
straight
not.
from the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why the Angry Beaver, my airplane, is my airplane. It's nobody has ever done this with a Beaver before, or at least the Fly Zone Beaver. The way I put a bigger motor in it, bigger tires. I actually took the wheel fairings off, foam pieces of the wheel fairings off.
Yeah.
I took a bigger prop. I extended the flaps. I moved the tail wheel back so it was a cast ring tail wheel, and it actually was a bigger tail wheel. There's so many things that I did to it that literally, if I were to put all the time I've spent on that airplane and just turn it into like a time scale, I think I put maybe about 5 hours into that airplane completely. So it's nothing that hard.
Yeah.
And you never know, if your Beaver or any airplane, say there's something you don't like about it, what you can do is you can change it. It's not like a real airplane where you gotta go through all the FAA certifications and everything. So you don't, it's just
Fun.
it's so much better, And really, this is the poor man's aviation. At times, if you go out and buy 4 or 6 or however many RC airplanes, and especially the bigger ones, it's not as different for expenses. But it's just it's awesome.
Yeah. Really is.
And the best part is you don't die when it crashes.
You don't die when. Also, when it crashes, all planes will crash. It's not really. Oh, my plane has never crashed. Yet. Yet is the key word.
Well, it depends on what you say crash is. Because if you just put it on the nose, say it's a curb and
If you land it and it just noses over, that's not a crash. I mean, like,
No.
crash. Like, it just flat spins and you can't recover, or a dumb pilot error thing happens, or just really anything.
Yeah, and really, if you do crash, don't beat yourself up about it. Everyone does.
Yeah.
And don't let other people beat you up about it, because
Once
really,
you get discouraged about it, it's just, yeah.
It's something that happens. And it's just like if you were to go out, it's with every hobby. If you have the hobby of building anything, if you build a table, something's going to break eventually. You're not going to always be perfect.
It's not a...
So,
I mean, it's exactly like full-scale airplanes. I mean, yeah, they're tiny, but it's not...
They're just real airplanes downscaled.
Yeah, they're just real airplanes, but small.
And the Carbon Cub is literally... Yeah, and the Carbon Cub is literally a full-size airplane downscaled to a small airplane. The only difference is it doesn't have fuel tanks in it, and doesn't have a Garmin G3X or whatever, and it doesn't have...
It's electric, it's more efficient.
This or that. It's electric, it's cleaner. Yeah, and all of you people saying that RC aviation hurts hurts nature. We're streaming. You can't cut anything out.
No.
Bad words to you. That's all I say.
Harsh feelings towards you guys.
Yes.
Harsh feelings.
Exactly. Because literally we're doing nothing wrong, and especially with these, like this is a Carbon Cub wheel right here. It's a big balloon
to those
tire.
people that are trying to shut down Fairview Park, why? You guys, you haven't presented us any actual information at all, and when we ask, you get very upset with us about it. we've done nothing wrong. We've been flying there for. Hang on.
He's looking it up now.
I'll tell you
Ready for the...
exactly how long we've been flying there for, or how. Okay, the club is over 50 years old now. I think it's 56 this year. It founded in 1962. Um, and well, people have been flying there even longer than 1962. It was only founded in 1962 with 10 members, and that's all. But like, we've been flying here longer than your city has been there. We've been flying here longer than the park was a park, and you're calling it a preserve. And everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, we're scaring the birds off." In fact,
Actually, no.
we're not. Why do you think? Okay, I want if anybody from the city is watching, why are there tons of birds at airports? Real airports. Why are there always tons of birds there? Why why
It's
is
a
the bird
field, but
population increased? Sorry to interrupt you. Why is the field population or why is the bird population increased at our flying field compared to other cities? Like, come on.
well, also it's illegal to like interact with birds with your airplane.
Yeah.
I've actually had a group of Canadian geese form up on my airplane into a V formation. While I was flying the Carbon Cub, I was where was I? I was at the school, and there's a group of Canadian geese formation coming down, and I had just taken off. I was climbing just over the trees, and then I watched them swoop down. I thought they were going to attack it, so I started a quick roll away, but they just followed it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not doing anything wrong, and I know for a fact that I have punished people for trying to hit birds or trying to mess with birds.
Messing with
And I'm
them
sure-
is not cool. I have too. We have many rules against that. We have the Audubon Society, which is the bird society pretty much. And yeah,
It's-
we don't mess with them. We really don't
Yeah,
mess
and
with the
also-
birds. People who do that, just they're not associated with us, and we do
And
take
also-
actions against them.
Yeah. And also, the two aircraft below us right now, they're both electric.
Yeah.
The only
No gas
thing
is
that
allowed
they're
in our
doing,
field.
the only thing we're doing with these airplanes is we're disrupting the air a tiny bit. Way less than the airliners taking off and landing in
and we're
your
not-
city.
We're not dumping fuel.
Way less,
We're not
yeah,
making
and
noise.
way less than the cars going down the road.
Sure, an
and-
EDF jet makes noise, but how
An
much
EDF
noise does
jet
it make?
is electric.
Yeah, electric ducted fan jet. It's
And also, I've actually had somebody. I was flying a Carbon Cub, which has this size wheel, and
Yeah.
this is going to be important. I was flying it at that spot, and it's a dirt spot, and it isn't that hard packed dirt. Like it isn't too hard packed, but it is like it's hard to even mess up with your foot unless you're stomping.
yeah.
And this old lady comes by and starts scolding me while I'm flying about ruining the gravel or ruining the dirt and like my plane's digging trenches through the ground and such like that. I come in and land, and it was one of the best landings of the day. But not only did I prove her wrong, I proved her completely incorrect because the aircraft, these wheels have so much surface area that it doesn't sink down if it was sand or something.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, we're not flying, big turbine jets that you see on YouTube. Turbine, as other people say.
Those are in Europe. That's all
Those
in
are
Europe.
in Europe, in LA and other areas. We're nowhere.
We are using
We're
bigger
using
size.
just big batteries, like something like this motor and this battery. The motor is smaller than the battery. Like, that's it. And we're not.
I
Our
think we
flying
have-
field is a limit of 10 pounds.
Yeah. And I gotta admit, my club doesn't have a limit for weight because the well, really, it's not an AMA club yet, but the fact is this is the same thing that's in your phone. It's the same type of battery. It's just got a little more.
It's just bigger. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just bigger. That's all it is. And you know, and I actually had somebody yell at me for using toxic glues on my airplane. I'm using hot glue.
Yeah.
You know,
I use epoxy, CA, and foam cure. Sometimes I use hot glue as well. CA, I mean, it's not toxic, but it's not bad for anything. We don't dump our glues everywhere. Most of the time, we do our repairs at home. Sometimes you'll see someone come in for a little bit of a hard landing, and you'll, get a little bit of glue, drop it on your plane, and it's fixed. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, and the main thing I have to bring up is if you're flying RC, and you're one of those guys who hates on other RC planes or other RC hobbies like cars, boats, and drones and helicopters, don't do that. We, at least in my club, try to set an example to not hate on other hobbies because we don't want them hating on us. Hello, Sophia. We have somebody who's joined.
We do? Hello.
Yes. She's the same person that we kept muting. Don't do it again.
Don't do what?
Mute her. But,
you mean that?
Also, look at the... Oh, no, why? Don't do it. Seriously, she's gonna get pissed at me.
Too bad.
Also, if you look at this is an electric motor. This is a gas motor. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
So,
and gas uses fuel. We're not using any fuel. There's no liquid going anywhere. Nothing bad for the environment.
Yeah, and we're not spraying chemtrails, which are fake. The worst that we're gonna do is we're going to create a little wake turbulence, and all that's gonna do is make the air just a bit bumpy behind us.
That's literally all it does, and then it goes back. Have you guys ever studied a winds aloft chart?
Yeah, and it's not like either. I had another person one day tell me that I was the one causing wind in the valley. Because apparently, this is what they said to me. And I guess a lot of people are deranged around here. But
a lot of people are deranged everywhere. No one has a true idea of what they're talking about unless they've actually done this before.
Yeah, well, he claimed to be an aerospace engineer for Boeing, and don't believe anyone who says that.
Oh, I know what I was going to bring up, but go on.
Well, apparently he saw me one day flying my Carbon Cub in little winds.
Yeah. And
then the next day it was very windy, and then the day after it was when I was flying. And it's it's stupid. He told me that I was the reason why it was high winds that day was because I was flying my little tiny plane around.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to bring up. Aviation caused model aviation can jumpstart anything. Not even just jumpstart. Can lead to a lot in life. I joined Civil Air Patrol because of model aviation, and Civil Air Patrol is the Civil Air Patrol. It's an auxiliary unit of the Air Force. Your webcam turned off, by the way.
I know. Hold on. I'm trying to fix that right now. Oh, good. It's broken again.
Okay.
There we go.
My flight instructor has a student who is now who's an Air Force colonel, I think, because of model aviation. There's another one who's on his way to the Air Force Academy or training or whatever it is, but he's in the Air Force. We have many pilots who are commercial pilots. We had a commercial pilot for United Airlines come out to the field today. We have plenty of pilots.
What was his name, by the way? I know. Retired.
No, he's still in. I don't know his name. Never introduced
He's still in
himself.
service for United.
Yes.
Um,
And he flies model airplanes. After he's done flying full scale, he comes to the flying field. When he's in town, he'll grab an airplane from his house and he'll fly.
yeah, and also
It's not just for
really
old farts. It's for
my
everybody.
my principal brought this up to me a while back. He said that he'd rather us fly gas or whatever. He'd rather us fly whatever we want, whenever we want, instead of going out and smoking and doing all sorts of
Being glued to a
random
computer.
stuff. Exactly, like we are right now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm
The,
working on a battery. I have that excuse.
oh god, I see flyers.
Oh, it's just
Surgery
Velcro.
on a server. Oh, okay. Are you using Gen's Ace? Is that what the battery is that you
This
have?
is an E-Flight battery.
Oh,
A big E-Flight
Well, the
6
one
cell
that
that's
you
going
had-
to my friend.
well, I was talking about the one that you had previously. That looked
Oh,
like mine.
that was
But-
3-cell 2200, not Gen's Ace. It's Huvo battery. I don't know. It's a weird brand. Cheap batteries work well.
Yes, and that's another thing. And my father says this all the time. You don't have to buy.
The most expensive.
This isn't. Yeah, like this transmitter here I use on all of my airplanes up until I get the Carbon Cub because that's a bunch of new toys.
A
but,
bunch of new toys.
The transmitter I use, which is a FlySky FS I68,
The
FS I6X. That's only $50 and it comes with a receiver and I think 10 channel memory
yes.
or 10 aircraft memory, and it's I haven't had a single problem. I'd actually rather that over Spectrum most of the time.
All the time.
Just the only reason why I say that is because Spectrum's expensive, and I like to keep non-expensive things.
Spectrum is expensive and very easy to use. Very
Exactly.
easy to use. That's if you're a beginner and you're starting out with a Carbon Cub. I mean, it comes with a transmitter. Use that, and you'll get more
Yeah.
and more into planes. I'm not gonna really force a transmitter upon you. I'm gonna give my recommendation to use FrSky, FrSky, because they get
And
there's great range with all of them. I mean, I've got a receiver sitting right here in the box still because this is going in my 250 plus mile an hour pylon racer.
yeah, and you kind of need a little distance for that. But,
Yeah.
And the cool thing is the FrSky and FlySky and all these other things. A lot of these are also the same software, so you can.
Yeah, OpenTX.
If I'm correct, you can bind my FlySky with a FrSky, or you
No.
can bind my FlySky with, you can bind the
You
different
can
things
bind to
with each
different
other.
things and they work, but you have to have for binding or my FrSky. I have a module in there. I can bind to almost any radio system there is. FlySky,
Yeah,
HubSand, even those little toy quadcopters you get at the store, I can bind to. When you go to Target and you buy those toy quadcopters.
yeah. Which that's another thing. Don't be an idiot and buy a quadcopter. Just go spy on your neighbors or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Don't
don't
be
be
an
the idiot that flies a drone. Yeah, just don't be an idiot.
This hobby is not
Really.
full of idiots. You'd be surprised.
Some of the wisest people I know fly RC.
Yeah, my flight instructor Henry, he's an engineer. He owns his own company. Darren, my friend, he's an expert on EDF jets. He makes landing gear for the F-18, F-35, and F-16s. Like, these people are smart. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
My friend Jeff makes carburetor heads for or he drills out the carburetors. He modifies Volkswagen engines and makes them more.
I
gives
know
them more
the key
horsepower.
word there is modify. That's what you're going to be doing a lot in this hobby is modifying, because
You'll find
really,
it's not too easy to do either.
Yeah, and don't modify your first airplane right away.
Yeah, have fun with it. If something breaks and you see room for improvement, do it.
Yeah. But don't go out and buy a Carbon Cub for your first airplane and then decide to put another set of wings underneath to make it a biplane
Yeah.
before you've even flown it. Like, I have a personal rule
And
with
for
my
some
friend
people,
and I.
you have to fly it before you do anything, right?
Yeah, that's the rule. Is typically the first airplane you see what's up with it. I don't buy two airplanes just to have one that I change. I don't buy two airplanes at all, really. I just buy,
Parts.
say, the Carbon Cub's a good example. I had my Carbon Cub mostly stock the whole time I owned it. And I still own it, but the whole time I flew it, I was thinking and modifying little tiny things here and there to make it a better airplane.
Yeah, like if you wanted to get rid of the tip stalling, you
Yeah.
what was it that you can lift up the back of the wing, I think, and it changes it just a little, the angle of attack.
Well,
Not really stop tip stalling,
angle
but,
of incidence.
angle
But,
of incidence, sorry. But
like on my Beaver, I had this problem where it would, how do I explain it? It would, in a turn, it would stall very easily and just, I would not have flow over the ailerons. And I used to get my Beaver right up on the bank angle to get into some places. So what I did was I took a popsicle stick, a simple, big, like maybe inch tall popsicle stick, and ran it between the flaps and the ailerons, like a stall gate on a Cessna 188. And boom, just like that, it flew beautifully. And it tracked nice and straight. Even through the turns, it felt like it was on rails. The Carbon Cub doesn't have an issue with that. I have not had an issue.
it's pretty fun once you learn it. Transitioning from beginner to intermediate, it's pretty easy. Then intermediate to expert is, I'd say, start out flying, yeah, definitely beginner. And after maybe 2 or 3 times flying it, you can go to expert, maybe 5 times actually, or not expert. Sorry, you can go to intermediate, and then after that,
and this is all in your comfort zone.
Yeah, once you feel comfortable, switch it to the next difficulty, and then it'll get easier and easier and easier, and soon you will be able to, or you can switch from intermediate to expert just to fly around and use intermediate to land, and then you'll be able to fly it on your own pretty soon.
Yeah, and the one thing I teach my students at the school is don't go by the book. Don't go like, oh, this many flights, I have to go to intermediate. If you don't feel comfortable with it, and don't force yourself into it just to be the cool kid. Because
that's what crashes you.
Yeah.
Also, you fly the airplane. Don't let the plane fly you.
Yeah. And don't get behind it, because as soon as you start getting behind it, the quicker the things start happening, and then you start to watch your beautiful balsa wood J3 Cub turn into toothpicks. You know?
You know from experience.
Exactly. We both know from great experience that
if you're not comfortable to do anything, don't.
Yeah. And, you know, we're talking about this Carbon Cub here. Please don't get mixed up with the Hangar 9 Carbon Cub and buy that. That is not a beginner airplane. Don't buy a Tundra if you're a beginner airplane. I will skin you alive if you do.
You will. Do not buy a Mustang or a P-47 or any Warbird for your first plane unless you have a flight instructor that is willing to take the time to teach you how to fly it.
Exactly.
My friend Armand, I taught him how to fly on a P-47, and now I'm teaching him how to fly an F-16. He mastered the P-47 just like that. Now I need to buddy box with him on his F-16. It's gonna take, I'd say, a month to teach him because we only fly 4 times a month.
Yeah, and that's another thing is make times to fly. If, you know, if you are somebody, a 30-year-old man, or whatever, if you have a 9 to 5 job or something like that, and you get home and you're just all tired, and you just go to bed immediately, wake up the next day, and continue that repeat cycle. One, fix your life. Two, if you want to get into the aviation, what you can do is you can actually just schedule times to fly.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you go to any AMA club and say, "Hey, I want to learn how to fly. Can you teach me?"
They're not gonna say no. Get out of here.
No, they might say not today or maybe later or something like that. But unless you get the bad apple, which is very rare in this,
I have a
well,
story
not very,
to
but
share after.
it's rare to find that bad apple, but you're going to be able to have somebody always willing to help.
Yeah, a lot of people are helpful in this hobby.
Yeah.
So when I
It's a
first
big
learned
family.
how to fly, or when I went to the store, saw the Mustang, and I said to my mom, "I need this." She said, "No, get a beginner plane." I said, "No, I know I can do it." And the guys at the hobby store said, "No, you need to get a beginner plane. We're not gonna sell you this." I said, "It's my money. I'm paying for it." And I got it. Which
And so became his
became
addiction.
my addiction.
Yes.
I don't regret buying that Mustang. That was the best flying plane I have ever flown. Like, seriously. That thing was super stable, easy to fly, looked great in the air, had plenty of power. I could do anything with it as well.
And if you're optimistic like me, there's so many airplanes, like the Park Zone Corsair, which was one of my first bigger airplanes.
Yeah.
It was very unstable, very weird. I think I only flew it with safe off once, and I learned to never turn off safe again.
But remember, in this hobby, you gotta experiment with stuff.
Exactly.
If we say, "Hey, don't get this plane," like it's really bad, but we have actual reasons why not to get it, you should probably listen. But if we say, "Hey, that plane looks pretty cool, but I don't know, this looks like it could be an issue," you gotta think to yourself and judge, well, if I get this plane and it doesn't work out, what can I do to fix that? What can I do so I can have fun with this plane?
Yeah, and don't go out fixing an airplane your first time flying it. Because there's definitely some airplanes that you just have to get used to stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
when you crash, don't go home and use a whole tub of resin or something like that to fix your plane. Buy CA, buy Foam Tac, Foam Cure. You can use
or
hot glue.
if you've got deep pockets and a bit of money that you're willing to spend on it, what you should do, and you could do, is say you want to get a Carbon Cub. You buy 2 of them, or you buy 1 and a set of wings or something like that, where if you crash,
you have a backup.
And you break something, you have that backup that you can throw the parts on. And something I haven't mentioned about the Carbon Cub is it comes with the wings off. So you have to build it, you have to go by the instructions, but, well, you don't have to go buy them, but you have to follow the directions. Excuse me. But, it's a good enough hobby where you should spend your money on.
Yeah.
And,
this Apprentice is so old. Like, it's no longer the original Apprentice. This has the only original thing is the insides. That's all.
Oh wow.
This is the club's one of the oldest trainer planes. This thing is close to like 15 something years old, I think.
Oh no, it can't be, because this came out in like 2012.
Oh.
And that's not the original Apprentice either.
No, this is not the original Apprentice. This is Well, the electronics are, besides the receiver, like all the
Mhm.
servos, the motor, and the ESC. That's what's remaining of the
It's a
Apprentice.
new airframe.
It's a new airframe, but an old airplane.
And I just noticed something that I'm not too sure about.
What?
If you remember oh my god, there's a lot. So I just did something I probably shouldn't have. Anyway, do you remember the Hobby Zone T28 Trojan? The small micro thing?
UMX one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already discontinued.
Aw,
They came out with it in like
that thing was fun.
middle of the year.
I flew that. The UMX T28, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's fun.
It's a yellow
Yeah.
three-blade prop thing.
Yeah, I flew that with my UMX Mustang when I had one.
And another thing is if you're gonna buy an airplane, definitely look at the parts, because you don't want to buy something
Don't
like
buy a
a
$300
part
plane with $600 parts. Kinda.
and well, that, and don't buy a $60 Amazon airplane and expect it to be perfect. Don't even buy from Amazon
Don't buy
when it comes to
planes
RC.
from Amazon.
No, because half of them are just little toys that break in 10 minutes. I see Park Zone has come out with a new airplane again.
Oh, they have?
They came back with the F4F. That went out of production a while back and then came back, I guess.
Yeah.
The
A lot of people must have complained because that was a good plane.
yeah, and the Night Vapor,
Oh, the Night Vapor's
which
back?
is $100.
Ooh.
But
Oh no, I bought myself a Vapor tonight. I forgot.
and also, guys, do not buy Park Zone unless it's actually now do buy Park Zone, but it used to be if you want an airplane that you can actually get parts for, don't buy Fly Zone or Park Zone.
Or Fly Zone.
Well, Fly Zone is just going out of business at this
Yeah.
point, I think.
You know, Gropner went out of business yesterday.
Who did?
Gropner.
What was that?
Oh. I see. They made stuff. They made a bunch of a high-speed company that made nice transmitters like the MZIG-24 and stuff.
Oh wow. Well, that's another thing is
Don't
these
expect
smaller companies.
These smaller companies, they may make nice planes, but they're not gonna last.
Yeah.
I can guarantee
And
you that.
Horizon Hobby swallows
Airplanes.
those small companies because it's like
Horizon
I'm
Hobby
looking
is
at
the biggest. Motion is its only competitor.
yeah, and it's buying out things from Motion too.
Like FMS. They only sell FMS now. Sorry. They don't sell FMS Motion doesn't sell FMS anymore.
Which is quite sad. Also, Motion RC has no ready-to-fly airplanes anymore.
Yeah.
There used to be so many Warbird ready-to-fly airplanes in Motion RC. They have all disappeared.
Yep.
Which makes me very upset because I was looking at getting a Motion or whatever plane it was ready to fly. Also, don't get a scratch and dent or whatever plane for your first airplane. If you see it's a cheap scratch and dent airplane, don't do it.
It's not a good idea.
Because all that means is you're gonna there's something wrong with it that you're gonna have to spend more money for. It's sadly, if you see an airplane that it says out of stock on, and it's been out of stock for about a month is my time span that I start to think, okay, that airplane's no longer available. I've been right with a lot of mine.
Yeah.
And who knows? You might be some rich guy or girl, and you just think, oh, I'm just going to get the Freewing AL-37 airliner for my first airplane. Well, number one, just give it to me as a present. And number two, good luck. I have a pointy stick. Also, guys, help FlyZone out, please. I need them to come back with the Beaver. Because there is one viable airplane on FlyZone right now. Which is weird. They have the Island Wings Beaver still on the website. I dropped my tire out of my hand. So they still have it, like, on the FlyZone thing, but it's no longer available, it says. Which I hope that means that they're either coming back with it, or they're just kind of saying ha-ha to me, which if they are, bad words to you, FlyZone.
Bad feelings.
But
bad feelings towards
bad
your general
feelings,
direction.
Yes. And slight finger and hand motions to you, FlyZone. But
Shiny hands. Or what is it? What are those? Stage hands? Something like that?
I'm just flipping you off, FlyZone. That's all that is.
Well, you're not. You're just, like, mad. You would never flip off FlyZone.
I don't know about that.
What if they're like, well, we were gonna bring the Beaver back, but now we're not.
Well, then I'd get my army of Beaver pilots.
Army of angry Beaver pilots.
Also, guys, a good trainer is not the Super Cub from FlyZone. If you see one on the market, don't buy it, but send me the link, and I'll dispose of it for everyone. I'm in the market for a new Super Cub.
He needs a Super Cub.
Yes, I need a Super Cub.
Don't buy it. Not a good airplane. I'll use it. Don't worry about it. I'll take all of them so you guys don't have to.
The only reason is yeah. The only reason why I like that airplane is because the landing gear it has on it. I just recently put Carbon Cub wheels on.
Do you mean the FlyZone Super Cub?
Yeah, the FlyZone Super Cub. They discontinued every airplane except for their Fokker biplane, which is a micro.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. The EPS one.
The what?
Never mind. It's made of EPS foam. Okay.
It's got little streamers on it. Yay! It's got a cool propeller on it. Yay! I'm talking about the biplane. It's $59.99. Yay!
Do it.
No, I got no money. They gotta pay you back for it to get another. What is this? Is this motors?
I wish shipping wasn't so expensive, though.
Yeah, I do too. Oh no, these are batteries. I've never heard of this company, yet they're so big on Horizon. That's interesting. And don't do what he's doing.
Don't do what I'm doing.
Yeah, don't ever run an airplane in your room.
Yeah, I'm a big dummy, aren't I?
He's done a lot of what we've said not.
Yes, but I'm, like, good at it. I follow the rules. Oh, no, I don't. I'm safe with what I do. Relatively.
He has just a tiny bit of luck.
Huh?
He has a tiny bit of luck. Oh yes, FlyZone or E-Flight came out with the UMX Turbo Timber recently.
Oh yeah, you're excited about that.
Marking the death for the full scale or the 1.5 meter turbo timber.
What do you mean the death?
Because
oh, once it becomes UMX, it gets discontinued.
Uh-huh.
The turbo didn't last long.
The Cherokee, I've heard good things about. I'm looking at getting. Well, oh no, no. My principal, who basically runs all the runs all the buying and everything for the school club, just bought 3 Carbon Cubs. I was gonna have him get a Cherokee and a Carbon Cub, but no, he decided to get 3 Carbon Cubs instead.
Yeah.
If you're smart like us and you actually have an aviation background and you know what you're doing,
smart like us,
don't let
high schoolers.
Don't let what I call a muggle buy your stuff, and don't let your parents buy your RC stuff.
Why?
Don't tell them buy this or that.
Oh.
Just buy it yourself.
Okay. Channel 5.
Still...
Yeah, I'm just figuring this out. Not the right transmitter.
Does that have flaps?
No.
Dang.
It's an Apprentice.
I want to get, and you can hate me for this, I want to get an Apprentice, an old, burnt-out Apprentice. And I want to put flaps on it and make it a tail dragger.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
Well, I mean, you got an Apprentice right there. Why don't you do
No.
it? Put big tires on it. And you know what I don't like about Horizon and all of them?
What?
They discontinue things so quickly.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
Like the Champ S Plus, that was going to be my airplane, which the Carbon Cub took over, which I'm kind of happy about. But like this, I'm looking through their discontinued right now, and I found the Sport Cub S. Sport Cub S, which they still sell, but I found it with an FPV system. That's cool to me. I've always wanted to get into FPV, but I don't know where to buy everything. And, well, you can buy, or you used to be able to, buy a Sport Cub S ready to fly with a full FPV system, everything you need to fly FPV. Tell me that's, like, try and tell me that that's not cool.
It's not cool.
You're not cool.
Cool, I disabled safe. I hate safe.
What?
What?
No way, did they actually get rid of it?
Get rid of what?
Hold on, I just found something that... No.
What are you talking about, man?
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me, though. Hangar 9 got rid of their glider. They had a ASH-31...
That big one your friend wanted? 2 meter, right?
2 meter? No, it's like 6.4 meter. Yeah, 6.4 meter.
Oh, Ash. Or the ASW.
Yeah.
Not the ASW.
ASH.
ASH. Ash. That's what's gonna be after I fly it. No longer available. Wow. $3,199 for that. Yeah, what are you gonna do with that?
3,000?
3,199.
Jesus. It went way up then. Also, rest in peace to the original Timber. They are no longer continued, as well as the Apprentice.
There's like 6 at my hobby store for sale.
You want to like buy me one and I'll give the money?
But you don't have it. Oh my god, I'm looking at the Hangar 9 Pawnee and it's like similar products. Fruing A10!
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm scrolling through the list. There's a Hangar 9 Pawnee.
Once you get the money for the timber, send it over and I'll go buy you the timber.
How much is it? Like $400?
$250.
$250?
It's the same price it is when it's new. or when it was sold. They also have the Turbo Timber. Someone came out to the field with the Timber X today, and I was like, oh god, here comes another
I
3D guy that thinks he can fly an airplane.
personally, if you try and tell me that somebody tried telling me that the Timber X was the best trainer he's ever flown.
It's not. It's not a trainer.
It is
It's a full
also the
3D.
E-flite Rare Bear, rest in peace. That's out of
Oh,
contempt.
I know, that hasn't been around for a long time. That was
Which
discontinued.
it's amazing. It feels like
2
I
years
watched.
ago. Huh?
It's amazing though, because I feel like I watched the. I feel like I watched the video on it from Flight Test like a week ago.
My friend has 2 of them. One of them he has a Power 15 with 6S that he runs on it. I have yet to fly it.
What happened to your Rare Bear again?
My little one, I never had an E-flite one. I just had a Sky Angel Rare Bear. They were tinier and faster. The back of my batteries is... The back of my 4 cells are so squishy. It's concerning.
I love. So you might also consider for me is the 3.1 meter Sukhoi Su-26 or the Super Cub, which hate me for saying this, but the Pawnee is a Super Cub just with a different fuselage and with a
wing. It's an upside down wing.
Yeah, and the struts on the wrong side.
Who cares?
But personally, I work with Pawnees in the summer. I love them. The Pawnee is my favorite airplane.
I need me an 8x5 prop. APC props.
Why do I recognize that size? I feel like I've had that size.
You don't know what it's for, though.
No, I don't.
And you won't. No, it's for my...
It's amazing.
VFX.
There's 13 pages. There's 968 discontinued airplanes.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going all the way back. The first discontinued airplane is the Multiplex. Of course, it's Multiplex.
Are you on
Dogfighter RR.
Wait, what website are you on?
Horizon.
Okay. What do I search? Airplane?
I just went to all airplanes.
Where? Oh. Include.
And then I went discontinued only. Oh, the T20, the Park Zone 228 is gone.
Park Zone, well, yeah, that's been gone for a while.
Park Zone Crescendo. Bye bye.
Really?
The Blade Indrux.
The Delta Ray, are you kidding?
The Bind and Fly one is.
But that just came out.
No, it was a different one that just came out.
Which one just came out? Well, the Delta Ray is still pretty new.
The Convergence is gone.
Their E-flite Extra 300 is discontinued?
Yeah. The Beaver? No, that was discontinued a while ago.
The V900, wow. Yeah, no, not a lot of people bought those. There was a guy at the field with one today.
The AT6.
Yeah.
That makes me upset because I would have gotten one if it was still that.
Stall AT6. Oh, the UMX Whippet looks cool. One sold at the field. Let's see. Oh, I got myself UMX Vapor Light 8 high powered ready to fly. That's the one I got tonight.
Nice.
High performance as well.
You know what's interesting is my Super Cub at the school is like one of the very last Super Cubs produced by Fly Zone. It's literally like the last ones.
Okay, here we go. The Luna with Freer Spectrum. Oh no, the Force RC F-18. That thing was awesome.
What else?
The Pulse, that's been gone for a while.
The Vapor Light is gone.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Check it out.
Looks just like
Oh,
the
the
Vapor.
70mm Viper. It doesn't even say discontinued yet. It says new low price in the photo.
Where?
Look. Ooh, Avanti V3. 70mm EDF. I like E-Flite 70mm
Oh, new
EDFs.
low price. Yeah, okay.
1900 kV. Does it have retracts?
The clipped wing Cub is gone?
Really?
Yeah.
It's the guy that came to the field with a brand new one that he just bought.
Was it Bind to Fly? Because it's just the plug and play one that's gone.
Oh. I guess it was Bind and Fly then.
I don't understand why they make an airplane like that and then just discontinue
Such a
it
good
that quick.
plane. Oh, the future. Oh my god. The MXP-47. Yeah, I know. Can I still get parts for that? Because I've got like the motherboard.
What do you think about the Carbon Z planes?
Ooh, I can still get the fuselage,
For what?
tail set, and main wing.
For what is that?
For UMXP-47.
Oh, nice. What do you think of the Carbon Cub, the Carbon Z Cub SS 2.1 meter? It's like $400.
No, no. No.
It's, I think that airplane's sexy.
Oh, I'm kind of upsetty spaghetti.
Or the
Motion
FMS
RC
Ranger.
is slowly going out of business.
The what one?
FMS, or no, Motion RC. Hang on.
Wait, are you sending me things?
No.
Or...
I'm asking my friend if he wants to join us with our stream. In our stream.
Well, I might have to head out soon. I'm getting a bit tired.
How dare you?
I love how I searched Ray to Fly filters and a plug and play F-16 came up with it. That's
F-16, you say?
no, I'm not getting an F-16. What's the suspension like on yours?
Yes. It works.
Like, is it like the Wilga trailing link suspension, like normal?
No. On my F-16?
Yeah, like
It's got
the
shock, so it pushes in. It's like...
yeah,
with
like
a spring.
the Wilga.
Oh god, my friend's like, you gotta pay me back. I'm like, I know. And he's like, or I'm gonna beat you up with a Power 50 and a sock. He's buying me an
No, what
airplane.
you gotta do is you gotta tape in the inside of a sock. You gotta tape a tack, and then you gotta put a LiPo battery in there, and then just wait for the tack to hit the LiPo battery and explode.
He said, I mean it, dummy. Oh,
You should say.
please have mercy. Dummy.
I don't know. Do you want to end it here?
What about the Dynam DCH2 Beaver?
Yuck.
Yuck? No. No
Wait,
mercy,
is that
only
still-
pain.
I gotta search that up now. You've gotten me curious to whether or not they still sell
Oh my
that.
god, look at the 262 fuselage. Looks so dumb on its own. Looks like a bomb. I'm on an airplane site. What? Oh, there's an E-Flite. There's E-Flite parts on here.
Where? On Motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they sell E-Flight planes.
I didn't know that. They must be very hard to find. I say we cut it right here.
You think?
I think.
At 100 minutes. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, we'll see you guys
Good night.
in the next stream.
See ya.
Bye, internet.
Bye.
Bleep.